few days ago, I came across this post where a guy was basically saying, I know I need to eat right. I know I need to work out. I know I need to not eat so much, but I just can't seem to find the motivation. And honestly, I think that motivation was never his problem. Here's the fact: if motivation was the common denominator for people who lose weight and keep it off, or guys who lose weight and get lean, then nobody would ever struggle with losing weight. And every single person you see on the street would be shredded because every single person wants to be lean and shredded. Nobody wants to be like totally overweight. We want to look like superheroes. We want to have this, the arms hugging the sleeves, things like that. Here's the problem: you think motivation is actually supposed to come first. In the morning time, you ask yourself, do I want to work out? Then you ask yourself, do I want to track calories? Then you ask yourself, do I feel like getting my steps in? And a lot of times the answer is actually no, unless you've been doing it for a long time and you fall in love with the process. And so the big issue is you accidentally made motivation a requirement instead of a bonus that like gives you that extra kick, even though you knew you was going to do the right things anyway, even though you knew that you were already going to track the calories, you were already going to go to the gym, you was already going to do this or that in order to reach your goals. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the solution to this problem by asking you a question: do you have a job? When you have a job, I'm sure there were probably hundreds of mornings that you did not feel like getting up and taking your ass to that job and working and getting that money. But you did. You got up, whether you were sick, whether you didn't feel good, whether your stomach hurts, whether your head hurt. You got up no matter what, and you set that alarm the night before to make sure you got up because you knew that if you didn't work, you didn't eat, you don't survive, your family suffers. You got to pay bills. You have to. You have to pay to breathe. And that's why when you have a job and you have to go to work, you're going to be at that job site no matter what. It's just, why should it be any different for your fitness and your health? When I was 240 pounds, I was like an old man trapped in a young man's body. That's how I felt. I felt like an old man at 22 years old. Why the heck was my heart beating hard and fast at just the thought of running? I wasn't even running. I was just thinking about it and my heart would beat fast. I was having anxiety about the running because I knew that when I got in there, I was going to struggle. But the fact of the matter is, when you're a young man, if you're watching this, you're probably a young man, you should not be struggling with those type of things. You shouldn't be having anxiety over those type of things. Right now, in this very moment, this should be the strongest you have ever been, period. Your prime. And at some point, I just had to ask myself when I was big as hell, why does life have to be this way? And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't have to be this way. I was literally watching my quality of life slip away. I couldn't enjoy normal things because I was so freaking big. And that's when I stopped asking myself, do I feel like it? It started asking myself, do I want to freaking live until my 80s? Do I want to be able to see my 30s? That's when things actually started to change for myself. You got to stop treating fitness like a hobby, because it's not. In reality, it's a responsibility of every single person to take care of themselves. If you if you're willing to go to a full-time job and wreck your body, like let's say you work construction, or you go to work any other type of job, you're going to go to a full-time job and burn through your body over time, years and years and years. Why wouldn't you take that extra time spending taking care of your body? Taking care of your body should be a full-time job. That is your full-time job, because you're in your body 24 hours of the day, no matter what, and you only get one of them. You got to stop treating fitness like a hobby and start treating it more so like you're protecting your life. And the stronger your why, the less likely you will actually need motivation to get things done. And then motivation will become a bonus on top of what you already have, what your why is. I want to live to see my grandkids. I want to live to see my kids grow up. I want to live to do this. I want to live to do that. And that's the bottom line. It's all about living, especially when it comes to us guys who are like super overweight. Because I've done been there, and you guys see my that is my picture in the thumbnail. That's my picture, bro. That was me, and this is me now, muscular. You know what I mean? So protect your life by taking care of yourself. But here's the thing, even when you stop waiting for motivation, there's another problem: the voice. You know exactly what voice I am talking about. It's that voice in your head that tells you, I can't do this. This is hard. Try again tomorrow. We'll do it again next week. Oh man, we messed up, but we'll do it again next week. Just one more time. Just one more last hoorah, and I'll get back on my fat loss journey. When I was 240 pounds, I used to listen to that voice often. In fact, that voice, it's what got me to 240 pounds and what was keeping me there for a long time. It took me a long time to lose the weight because I just couldn't break this control that his voice was taking hold of me. I try to get on my diet a couple weeks and then I would fall off. And every single time I listened to this voice, I always regretted it because I knew that deep down inside I was capable of more. I knew that deep down inside I could do something and change my physique. Because I hadn't been fat my whole life. I grew up chunky, and then I lost the weight by accident via high activity, and I was doing martial arts when I was in high school. After high school and then shortly after joining the military, I just gained all the weight back and then some. And so I had to educate myself. I had to learn about these different type of things. But one of the main things, get back to the point, is that voice. You have to break free of that voice that keeps you stuck. The main problem that's keeping you stuck is thinking that that voice in your head is actually you. That's not you. Oh, now let's be honest. That sounds kind of psycho, right? Like saying that the voice in your head isn't you, then who the heck is it, right? It's you, but it's not really you. You have to start not seeing it as you because that it's not that thought process. It's not serving you. It's keeping you in the same loop. Let's just call it the excuse voice. I got tired of losing to this excuse voice. And at some point, when I heard it again, I think it was like around the time when I was trying to get my running speed up, I was trying to lower my running time. I literally, and this might sound like some psycho stuff, but I said, shut up, like in my head, and then eventually, sometimes out loud. Like I would tell it to shut up. Eventually, I would say, I'm okay. I replaced like what I would say to myself in my head instead of saying I'm tired. I say shut up. Instead of saying I can't do this, I'll say I can do this. I'm all right. I'm fine. Instead of saying I'm in pain, I say I got this. And then eventually, I started saying something along the lines of I'm in charge. That's my favorite one. And that's when like my body's aching and I'm really trying to push the limit. I just keep telling myself I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I can win. I can do this. And did it work at first? No, it did not work at first. But eventually, that voice started to get a little bit quieter. And then eventually, another voice had replaced it. And I like to call this voice the disciplined voice. It's the one that you hear when you really push the limits and you like, man, I have to do this, man. I can do this, man. I will do this. And that's just going to take you to the next level, man. You have to replace that excuse voice with another voice, a disciplined voice. And this voice you can identify with. This voice you could call your own. And the voice you listen to, the one you give strength and power to, is the one that will become the type of person that you're trying to become. Does the excuse voice still make an appearance? Sure, but it just doesn't have as much power over me as it used to. I can walk past some snacks or have some cookies around, and it wouldn't bother me. But you have to train this. This is something you really have to train and practice all the time. Every time you encounter something difficult, you're going to hear that excuse voice, but you have to recognize it when you hear it. Once you start to recognize it, you can start seeing it more as a thought that is not actually you. That thought of you failing and doing the things you aren't supposed to do is not you. So you don't have to listen to it. Who is really you is the voice that you decide to listen to. Now, let's just blow past all this and clarify. This is not some psycho stuff. This is basically just a thought. You might think of something, an unconscious thought, but you need to start making your thoughts intentional. Start deciding which thoughts you want to listen to. Now, let's say you you're tracking this video, you're following along, you're understanding what I'm getting at, and you're having that eureka moment. There's still one last problem that is critical to this equation to tie it all together and make it all work. You have to stop breaking promises to yourself. Every single time you tell yourself that you're going to do something, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, I'm going to eat this amount of food tomorrow, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you don't do it, you're teaching yourself something. And what you're teaching yourself is that your word doesn't mean a goddamn thing. You're teaching yourself that, you know what, I'm going to say I'm going to do it, but I'm probably not going to do it anyway. And don't sit up here and say, like, oh, that's not me, da 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 da. Listen, it happened to me. It's probably happened to you. If you're watching a video on how to lose fat, you're probably a person that breaks promises to yourself. You're dishonest. You're a liar. You lie to yourself all the time. It's time to start being honest and stop breaking promises to yourself. Because being a person that doesn't trust yourself is a very dangerous place to be, not just with the fat loss thing, but in life. Every How can you expect people to trust your responsibility, your wife, your boss, anybody, when you don't even trust yourself? That's basically just what we call competence. And the moment I understood this, I stopped trying to impress myself with large, magnificent goals. I started focusing on actually keeping my freaking word to myself, because every single time I said I was going to do something in my head or I said it out loud and I actually went and I did it, that's that was just evidence for myself. I was putting together a freaking case so that when I brought the case up to myself, because I'm judge, jury, and executioner, I guess, I brought the case up to myself. I'm like, yeah, he's him. And that's what you have to do for yourself. You have to put together evidence that, yeah, I'm the type of guy that's going to do this. And then that's when you begin to start trusting yourself. You got to start becoming a person that keeps their word, an honest person. Stop lying to yourself. Stop focusing on trying to lose weight and start focusing on keeping your word to yourself. Say you're going to do something and then do it. And as you start to become a person that keeps their word, you start trusting yourself a bit more. You're going to stop wondering and hoping, like, dang, man, I hope I lose weight. Dang, I wonder if this is going to work. I wonder if that's going to work. I hope it works. You're going to start becoming the person that says, you know what, I know it's going to work, because I'm not going to stop, because I'm going to keep going, because I'm going to do it anyway. I want to keep going until something works. When you keep doing things over and over again, eventually you're going to find something that works. That's what we call consistency, I guess. And having that calm confidence of actually like knowing that it's going to work, it gives you a certain type of feel. Like a setback doesn't hurt you. A scale going up a little bit, it's no big deal. um you actually messing up on your diet a little bit, it's not a big deal. You're not gonna fucking go crazy and have a binge eating session. You're gonna come back and say, you know what, I'm gonna get right back to it. I want to get right back in the groove of it, and this is not going to stop me, because I'm just not going to stop until it works. And people ask me all the time, because a lot of my coworkers, my friends, my family, they say, hey, how did you lose 60 freaking pounds? They ain't say it like that, but that's how I feel, because I'm glad about my accomplishments. They say, hey man, how did you lose 60 pounds and stay motivated the whole time? And I just tell them, like, I didn't. Motivation got me started, but it didn't get me to the finish line. You see, what really got me to the finish line was me building the type of person within myself that I can trust and that I can rely on. It wasn't a motivation, it was the identity change that actually got me there. And motivation isn't bad, it's just unreliable. Some days it'll show up, some days it won't. And when your success depends on your motivation, your success depends on your mood. And that's just a terrible way to build the life that you want. It's very unsustainable. Instead, build the person that you can rely on. Talk back to that voice that wants comfort. Treat your body and your health as if it matters. And once you become that person, the outcome isn't a question anymore. It's only a matter of time.